If you've watched any of my videos before, you might have picked up on the fact that I'm a big Lovecraft fan. So when today's theme came up on the Drawlloween calendar, I got very excited to talk about a different Lovecraft story. We talk about Cthulhu a lot here, but today we're talking about the Shadow Over Innsmouth. Another one of the very famous Lovecraftian stories. This tale was written in 1931 and is a great short story. I say short story, but it's a little bit more of a novella in length. Not quite a full novel or anything. I don't even think it's as long as like 50 pages, but definitely a bit longer than a short story. If you've wanted to get into reading Lovecraft's works, but you were a little put off by the lack of action and the kind of purpley prose that he would write with in some of his earlier stories, Shadow Over Innsmouth is an absolute joy to read, and I would highly recommend it for anybody looking to get into Lovecraft as a jumping on point. The story's written very directly, straightforward, and it's got some action beats in it too. It'll make for a great movie, I tell you guys that much. The drawing I'm doing now depicts the waterfront wharf of the crumbling town of Innsmouth, and on a spooky moonlit night with a big green moon, some mysterious figures are coming out of the surf. It was a lot of fun to work on and do some shadows, draw all these buildings here in the back. I wanted to get that whisper of the waterfront wharf theme down and make it look very spooky, mysterious, kind of bathed in moonlight and deep shadows. And to that end, I had a lot of fun working with mainly a green palette and a lot of cool grays and stuff like that. There's some other colors mixed in there, but the predominant colors are the greenish and the grayish as well. Tons of fun to work with. So let's talk about the Shadow Over Innsmouth. For those of you that don't know, this story takes place in 1927 when our unnamed narrator has come of age, so I assume he's post-college, like 21, 22, somewhere in that range, and decides to throw a big old celebration for himself by going on a tour of New England, looking into genealogical research about his family's heritage and origins. Does this guy know how to party or what? I mean, slow down, buddy. I can totally understand that it was either go to Las Vegas and do body shots off of strippers or travel New England and look through antiquarian tomes. You made the right choice. Anywho, this guy sets off to Newburyport, along the New England coast where his mother's family is from. And there he learns of a strange rural backwater called Innsmouth, just down the road a bit. He learns that some of the people from Newburyport were originally from Innsmouth. They were kicked out or left Innsmouth for one reason or another. And so he sees some other artifacts of a strange crown tiara in a local museum. And it convinces him, hey, maybe I should go to Innsmouth. Check this crumbling joint out. Again, does this guy know how to party or what? So a bus shows up, this little like 10-seater, driven by a strange, peculiar guy. And the bus is basically breaking down, but gets him all the way into Innsmouth in the morning, and then promptly decides to break down. So he's kind of stuck in Innsmouth for a while, goes to see a grocery store clerk who gives him some information about the town, gives him a map, very video gamey, I gotta say, and gives him the name Zadok Allen, who is kind of a local legend or something like that, an old guy from way back in the days of the town. So our narrator sets out looking through all these crumbling buildings. He sees all the churches are boarded up. Strange sigils are all over the town. Stuff like that. Very, very strange. People peeking out of their windows. He finally finds old Zadok Allen, old drunk, gives him some alcohol, and Zadok tells him the story of the town. And this is where the story really, I feel, takes off. A lot of great atmosphere before this, but when Zadok starts telling the tale of how way back in the day, an old ship captain named Obed Marsh was traveling distant seas when he came across a bizarre race known as the Deep One, strange aquatic peoples that live forever beneath the waves and have a vast civilization. And old Obed strikes a bargain with them where they can provide the deep ones with various things from the surface world and strange rites and stuff like that. And the deep ones will provide them with great fish catches and gold and jewels and make the town very prosperous. And this is going relatively well for a while. A Order of Dagon, an ancient deity, starts up in the town. And things go pretty well for a while until stuff like the town starts enforcing people to worship Dagon. People go missing. They disappear for strange reasons. Bizarre shadows are seen out on the Devil's Reef, which is just off the coast of the town. Great stuff. Eventually, Obed Marsh and a bunch of his flunkies get arrested by the feds for all these disappearances and whatnot. And things go downhill, and soon the deep ones still demand their various, not sacrifices, but their tributes. Eventually, people are forced to mate with the deep ones and produce hybrid offspring. And the narrator finds this all kind of weird and fascinating, but doesn't know what to make of it. The deep one hybrids they start life looking exactly like humans, but slowly as they age, they begin to mutate into these bizarre deep ones, set for living beneath the waves, but can also come out on land. A lot of people in town have a strange gait and bulgy eyes, and they dress in long coats so you can't see their bodies. Good stuff. At night, the bus is still broken down, so the narrator can't get out. He stays at the old Gilman house, a crumbling old hotel. And during the night, hears shuffling, people trying to break into his room. This is where some of the action scenes start, as the narrator has to break out as people are chasing him down, run across the rooftops. Large hordes and posses of bizarre creatures begin chasing him. Down by the wharf, strange people are coming out of the sea, misshapen and weird. And I won't spoil the rest for you, but suffice to say, it's a great tale. Highly recommended, especially for anybody looking to get into Lovecraft, like I said before. Now, if you see here, the drawing's coming together well. I like that ocean there and that spooky green. Let's put in some stars. Let's put in some white highlights for the ocean waves to get those kicking off and really make the contrast good. It's a relatively simple and straightforward drawing. Let's take a look at the scan here. Awesome. I dig it. This was a total blast to do. So glad to be talking to you guys about more Lovecraft stuff. Like I said before, I love this stuff. So it's great to talk about different stories and do something a little different than Cthulhu, as usual. Tons of fun. Anywho, thanks again to the people at Drawlloween for putting out a great calendar. Thanks to you guys for watching and sticking with me this October. I'm having a ball so far. I hope you guys are as well. I'll leave you with that. And to that end, guys, keep your heads dry and don't go in the water after dark. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.